She gave him like 8 to 10 cases.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to take the matter. I just need to take the matter of advisement. I'm going to hopefully make a ruling in, but after we have a comfort break. So let's reconvene at 12 o'clock, and then we'll go ahead and see where we are at that point in time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll be in recess about 10 minutes.
All right, so we are going to be in recess for about 10 minutes. What was going on? What is all of this that we were talking about? Let me pause it right here. What did we watch? It was super interesting, right? We were watching basically what you can call it is like a Daubert hearing, and it's a hearing to determine if someone is going to testify as a lay witness or are they going to testify as an expert witness. And this is very, very important, guys. An expert witness can say so many more things than a lay witness. A lay witness, and I'm going to generalize it, right? But a lay witness kind of has to talk about their experiences, what they've experienced firsthand, like the facts. Sometimes they're called a fact witness. Whereas an expert witness can give opinions about things to help the court decide, what's really going on. So for example, not to, pull rank on you guys, but a lot of times I get on the internet here on this YouTube thing, and I hear a lot of people on panels or on YouTube channels, and they're talking about marriage and they're talking about divorce, right? And they'll talk some aspect about why men shouldn't get married, and they'll say something about prenups, and prenups don't work. Now, if you wanted to hold them to this standard, you say, okay, well, are you an expert or are you just a lay witness? Right? If you're a lay witness, then basically you have to talk about what you have experienced. So you're saying prenups don't work. Okay, well, you can't talk about that in general. Talk about your specific life, your specific marriage. Did you get married and have a prenup in place before that marriage and then get a divorce with the prenup and the prenup failed, right? If so, then you can talk about whether prenups work or not. But if that's not part of your specific firsthand life experience, they don't want to hear it from you, right? You just need to talk about what you know, right? That's the thing. Talk about what you know as a person firsthand. But if you are an expert, then I'm not just limited as to what's happened in my life, but I can look out and I can tell, my opinions about what works and what doesn't in general. So, for example, in matters of divorce, I would be classified as an expert witness if I had to testify in trial. How does a judge decide who's going to be an expert and who's not going to be an expert? Well, they go down a list of conditions, a list of considerations, and they add those all together. So you say, okay, well, Lee, what would make you an expert on family law matters, on divorces? Well, I have specialized knowledge. I have knowledge that you guys don't have, right? And then you would go down the factors and say, well, let's talk about it. Well, what is my profession? Well, for the last 20 years, I've been a divorce attorney. Okay, well, that's pretty good. 20 years, yes. Have you been educated in the field? Yes, I've actually been educated in the law. I spent 3 years in law school, went to the great University of Georgia, the flagship institution of our state. Okay, well, lead attorney, did you get a degree? Yes, I actually got a degree. I have a Juris Doctorate. I have a JD. Okay. Well, do you have any training? Yes. In fact, I do. All attorneys, and I would imagine all over the country, but certainly in the state of Georgia, we have what's called CLEs, or continuing legal education. And so I have to take a certain number of hours each and every year to keep current on my knowledge, right, of divorce law. You say, okay, well, do you have any memberships in professional organizations? Well, I do, right? I am a member of the Georgia State Bar, right? Member of the ABA, member of smaller organizations that we have here in Georgia regarding family law. You say, okay, well, do you have any licenses? Actually, I do. I have a license to practice law in the state of Georgia, right? Now, imagine if a judge asks you all of those questions. You want to talk about prenups don't work, or you want to talk about this about child support. You want to talk about this about alimony. Well, if a judge asks you all these questions about your education, about your degrees, about your training, about your membership in professional organizations, about any licenses, you don't really have anything. So a judge is going to say, okay, well, I'm going to let the lead stroke. I'm going to let the lead talk all about this divorce stuff. But you need to talk about what you know about you, and you need to limit it to that. Well, that's what we're looking at now with this case. They are trying to decide if this young man who was on the stand, if he gets to talk about classification of gangs in the DeKalb County Jail, if he can talk about it in general, if he can give his opinion on things, or if he can only talk what he know. Just talk what you know. What did you see? What did you do? And don't give us an opinion about anything. All right. So the prosecution is saying, yes, he is an expert. He's received some training, right? He knows things that people don't know. What did the prosecution say? What did the white lady say? She said, well, my aunt didn't know that here in Fulton County, we got a gang problem. Now, I don't know how she didn't know that. People getting killed down in Lenox and in Phipps every single day. I don't know how she didn't know there was a gang problem, right? But she's saying her auntie don't know nothing about no gangs. But this man does know about gangs, right? So he has received some training. What did she also say? Well, no one has died based on his false classification of someone in the jail. That's a weak argument, but you got to say something. So she's saying that he should be classified as an expert. Now, what did what did Jimenez say, the other attorney? He's saying that this gentleman should not be an expert. And shout out to Jimenez, he actually worked for the Atlanta prosecution. He worked for the prosecutor's office. He worked in there for a few years, but now he changed sides. He went to the dark side. This is what a lot of defense attorneys do. They get their start in the DA's office, so they learn all the tricks, and then they take it outside of the DA's office, start representing criminals, start getting that bag, right? They grow the ponytail out, start getting that bag. That is what Jimenez has done. So he's saying, listen, this man is not an expert. Why is he not an expert? Well, the gentleman testified he doesn't know any best practices. He doesn't know anything about how you should classify these individuals at the jail on a national scale, on a state scale, on a local scale. He doesn't know the gold standards. What else did he say? Jimenez says that this gentleman, he's supposed to be an expert in classification of people in the gangs in the jail. He doesn't even know who runs the jail. He doesn't know which gang members run the jail. He says he can't name names. Let me tell you something. As an attorney, all attorneys, especially if you work in a given field for a long time, you can name names. You can name names of cases. We know about Dauber, right? We know about Kumo. We know about Ayala. We know about Georgia Electric Company. Y'all know a case name. Y'all don't think y'all know a name, but y'all know a name. What name do y'all know? Anybody know? Y'all know Miranda rights, right? Yep. Miranda rights. Miranda, that's what? Miranda v. Arizona.
Yeah.
Right? So y'all know a case name. Y'all don't even know that, but y'all do. Attorneys, we know names. Jimenez says this guy, he can't name one name.
No
of the
one.
people at the damn jail, right? So how can he be an expert if the league can name off names, if AV can name off names, Judge, if you can name off names, but this man can't name one name. He sat there and testified all morning about him being an expert. He cannot name one name. How can he be an expert, right? He also talked about the point system, right?
Mm-hmm.
About how you classify, how you rank people at the jail in terms of their gang activity, their gang levels. He can't explain the point system. What he's basically saying, guys, is he's not an expert. What is he? He's an employee, right?
Yeah.
If you work at Burger King, you know how to make the damn Big Mac, right? That's at Burger King, or is that at McDonald's? What is that? Big Mac. That's Burger King. Oh shit! I don't even eat that crap. The Whopper, right? It's the Whopper, right?
Yeah.
I ain't got no kids. If you ain't got no kids, you don't know what that shit called. All right. You know how to make the Whopper. I'll be honest, guys. I've eaten Whoppers before when I was a child. I've never made a Whopper in my life. Somebody who has worked at Burger King for a year can make a Whopper better than me. They know the layers. They know what is it, first the bun, then maybe like the mayo or whatever. Then you got to put the lettuce and the tomatoes, and then like the patty, or then like the onion. I don't know. They know it. Right? I don't know the order. But just because you know things doesn't make you an expert, right? It can make you an employee, right? But there's nothing specialized about making a Whopper. That's what he meant as a saying, like, this guy works at the jail.